Okay, so uh, before we start today's class, all of you cameras on, please. Please switch on your camera. So there are two things which I want to tell you all before we start the class. First is my POA. POA means plan of action. Okay. So as you know, last 5 years I have been 24/7 dabbling with different paddhatis. Okay. So now I have come to a conclusion as to which paddhati से क्या लेना है. Basically, what is the best? It's like a buffet, so to say. Okay. So from this point onwards, my entire effort is to resurrect or resuscitate or basically bring back to life all the other researches which I've done earlier on and pick and choose from that. Okay. So as of now, my focus is on Lal Kitab. So today I'll be introducing Lal Kitab to you and telling you why we should start using Lal Kitab, what part of Lal Kitab we need to use. Okay, so this is basically the agenda for today. Okay, so this was the plan of action. So in the plan of action, what I expect out of you is I will be sharing with you a lot of data which has taken me a lot of effort to assimilate. Okay, like for example, the colored chart which I sent on the group, I've already updated that, which I'll be sharing over here. If all of you can switch on your cameras, that would be good, please. So I will be sharing that with you. That data, that data, which is like one, just like one putty, actually took me 2 years to assimilate. Okay, so when I talk about Lal Kitab, you'll understand why it took 2 years. So I would expect you to respect it in what I mean by that is I need you to experiment on that what I'm going to share with you and give me the feedbacks, because what happens is I can get exposed to only so many number of kundalis, right? Because I'm not a professional astrologer where I get, let's say, 50 kundalis in a day. I get at the most 3 to 4 or 5 kundalis in a day. So if 10 of us can at least sort of pump in 2 or 3, we'll at least be exposed to at least 30 kundalis instead of 2 or 3 kundalis. So that is what I'm trying to say. Okay. So with that, let's start. Now the thing is, Lal Kitab, the history of Lal Kitab is a little ambiguous. There are several, what is it called, avenues where people have spoken about the background of Lal Kitab. Okay. Now I don't want to delve into all that because, as you know, we should keep calm se matlab. So, but I will just tell you what little I know. So it is written by Pandit Roopchand Joshi. Okay. So Roopchand Joshi was actually in the accounts department of the what is it called, British Army, somewhere in the northeast, somewhere over there. And it is said, now one theorem is said that every night you would be visited by some spirits or something, and they would dictate something and they would write. That is difficult to digest. But the way this has been written sort of correlates to that. In the sense, it's 1800 pages across 2 volumes. And like I always keep saying, if you want to convey 2 plus 3 equal to 5, I would rather do it in one paragraph. But he will write 2 on page number 20, plus on page number 120, 3 on page 220, equal to on page 500, and 5 on page 1800. You know, it is all disheveled everywhere. So like last time I told you, it took me 2 years to actually put all those things together. Because there are books, I'll send you a photograph later on. I see around 15 books of Lal Kitab I've got over here. And all of them can actually be used as coal to burn the fire. They're all useless. So anyways, so that is the background. Other thing is that they said that in Tajikistan there was already some similar thing existing in Iraq. So it is taken from there. So whatever it is, I don't know. Now, why we need to use Lal Kitab, or basically where we need to use Lal Kitab is the important thing. Now, Lal Kitab is totally based on. Can all of you hear me properly? Just do this. Okay. So Lal Kitab is totally symptomatic. Symptomatic means symptoms. If Jupiter is in this house, this is the symptom. If Rahu is in this house, this is the symptom. If Moon and Mercury are together, this is the symptom. Okay. So that helps us to very quickly pinpoint the issue as to which planet is causing that problem, or which combination is causing the problem, and which house is getting affected. Okay. So I've been using Lal Kitab sporadically here or there. I've been sharing with you all. Like if every time I tell you, Surya Shani ke takkar mein Shukar mara jayega. Like that, those theorems are there. So those theorems are little totally wacky. They are totally non-conventional. They are not like the typical Parashari this thing. So it takes a little bit of practice to do that. And to tell you very frankly, 50% or even 70% of them, I could not decode the logic behind it. 30% I could. So there is something much deeper than that, which maybe it will take some time for us to understand. I've asked many of these experts, so-called experts also, none of them could give me any answer. So I'm as of now taking blindly because it is working. Now comes the real fun part, let us say. What is happening is, this is Surya Shani ke takkar mein Shukar mara jayega. This, let's call it a dictum. There are, I don't know, maybe 300, 400 dictums like that. Okay. And I have attended some two very eminent Lal Kitab exponents classes. I have learned from two of the top fellows. One guy literally would read out that thing and then translate it. So he didn't know it by heart, and he himself told that I keep the book open and I keep referring to this, which is not correct. The other guy knew the things inside out. Okay, so if you just tell him that it is a Venus and Moon ka combination, so he'll pat karke say this is like that. Okay. Now, frankly speaking, we need to reach that level. Now, to reach that level, it's many people have asked him, and he gave a very typical egoistic thing: practice, practice, practice. But practice, if it is not done in the right manner, it goes for a toss. So what I had done was, that book I showed you last time, which I've written, the entire thing, Jupiter third house, then these are the symptoms, this is the thing, this is the remedy, all that thing. That day before yesterday, I combined that entire thing into that one patti. That one patti, which once I'll explain to you just now how to read it. Once you understand how to read it, you don't need to memorize all these things, at least at this point of time. Okay, so just now I'm going to show you two things in today's class. One is how that Lal Kitab Kundali is made, because there also there's a little bit of ambiguity. So that is one thing. And second thing is how to read a chart which I've made. And what I expect out of you is at least 10, 15, 20, 50, 100 charts, whatever you got of people around you, your family, friends, whatever it is, try it out on that. And then give me a sort of a feedback, okay, this is what it is, or this is what it is. Even my chart I saw yesterday, when I talk about Moon and Mercury, I'll talk more about that. In my chart itself, it is showing how my mother can have a kidney related issue. Okay, so that I will frankly speaking, I have written all these notes myself only, but till yesterday I didn't see that. So I have taken note of that also. Okay. So understood so far. So now what I'll do is I'll first share the Jagannath Horata, any typical chart. Mute, who's on? Not on mute. Miles, mute. Okay, so okay, I've muted you. Let's have one simple protocol. If by some reason you are little late, okay, I have to keep that waiting room thing on all the time, and that distracts me. So in case you're there and I don't let you in for maybe 30 seconds or something, just give me a phone call over here. Then I'll understand that you're in the waiting room. Because keeping that waiting room tab over there is again irritating for me. Now you can see my mouse move, right? Just do this. Can you see the mouse move? Okay. So here is this is Jagannath Hora, which all of you know. So what I've done is I've just kept a dual this thing on, which is this preferences display, use two charts, use two charts. Upar I've taken the diamond chart and niche I've taken the South Indian regular chart. Okay. Now what happens over here is in Lal Kitab they don't consider Rashi, Nakshatra, anything like that. They say that first house ko ascendant ko first house bana do. In that Urdu thing is that later on I'll read it out if you want. So what is said is this guy becomes the first house. Now the important thing is, which earlier also I was making a mistake. I was keeping this. If you know the North Indian chart, this basically happens to be the 10th house. 10th house. If you see in the South Indian chart, which we are used to, this is the ascendant. This is the 10th house, right? Where Venus is seated. So I was taking this 10th house as the first house. So I would take this as the first house. Do you understand the mistake which I was making? Okay. So the thing is not like that. What you need to do is over here you got the thing, show chart over here. So you rotate it so that the first house becomes Aries. So your ascendant is moved to the Aries. Why is my hand up? I think when I do this, it automatically takes a hand with it. My hand is up. So anyway, just forget it. So basically the thing is, whichever your thing is, now for example, my ascendant is 6. And in the 7th, my 6th Rashi is my ascendant. In the 7th Rashi, I've got Mars, let us say. So what happens is this 1 comes here and my Mars comes here. Now, do all of you know how to read a North Indian Kundali? Or anyone doesn't know, just put your hand up like that. Okay, everyone knows, but I'll just in 30 seconds I'll tell you. This is all the houses are fixed here. Like in our South Indian Kundali, the Rashis are fixed. Here the houses are fixed. So this is permanently the Lagna, permanently. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. So it goes in that zigzag fashion. So here you need to have a sort of a practice where you can see 6, 8, 12 properly, 1, 5, 9, 4, 10, you know, that typical thing you should know. So if you say 5, you don't need to keep counting from here, it has to be this 5. Okay. So that is the basic thing that is expected. Now, what I should say. So basically, your Kundali gets rotated this way. Now this I'll just put a transit chart just now. And now Venus is in your first house. If this is your chart like this. Sun and Jupiter are in your third house. Mercury is in the fourth house. These 3 guys are in the 5th house. Rahu is in the 11th house. Saturn is in the 12th house. So earlier this thing where your thing was like this. You had over here also, if you see, let me keep it this one. If you see our regular chart below, you will say that ascendant में Mercury है. Correct? But here it is not like that. Ascendant में Venus है. Are you understanding this? So basically, this gets that first. Sorry, my mistake. Here, 4th है. So this ascendant you rotate over here. Just forget this 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. Your ascendant gets put into Aries. So this becomes Aries actually. This will come and come here. You are still confused?
I didn't get it, Dada. Why do we need to rotate?
This is a regular Kundali. Okay. Now, let me go back to the.
Is it that we always keep the first Rashi Aries as the ascendant?
No, the thing is, let's look at the South Indian chart. This is your ascendant. This is in the 4th Rashi, right? So in the North Indian chart, you just have to remove this. That is all in this thing. See, actually, I tried putting this in the South Indian chart itself, where basically what would happen is here I was writing ME, Mercury. Here I will write Mars, Moon, Ketu, because the second house. Third house is nothing, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Now this is the eighth house. So basically eighth house will have Rahu here. So I tried doing that in the South Indian chart because we are used to that. But in the long run, it will create a lot of problems. Okay, let me make it very simple. If let us say you have got a South Indian chart, see, because North Indian chart you will get it anyways in any horoscope. You just have to change the format. But let us say you don't have this with you, you only have this. How do you make it? I'll just show you over here. If you can see what I'm doing. It's difficult for me to draw with a mouse, but I'm trying. So here, if you see, what do I have in the ascendant? I've got Mercury over here. So Mercury comes here, first house. Second house, what do I have? Mars, Moon, Ketu. So Mars, Moon, Ketu comes here. Third, nothing. Fourth, nothing. Fifth, nothing. Sixth, nothing. Seventh, nothing. In the eighth, you have got Rahu. So eight, now you should know this is eight. If you see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So eighth has got Rahu here. Ninth has got Saturn. So this is 9. So Saturn comes here. 10th has got Venus. So this is 10th house, Venus. Nothing in 11th, 12th has got Jupiter's Sun. This
So basically, where you've written Mercury, always make that the first house.
no, wherever your ascendant is your
That
house in our style. This is the first house.
yeah.
So move this to the first Rashi. So this is the first house. And
Yeah.
this is Rashi. Still confused all of you?
Sir, maybe it will become more easy with South Indian chart because you just need to erase the ascendant there and put it in Aries.
Yeah, you'll have to move
Yes.
this and you'll have to move this guy here.
Yeah,
But then you'll have to move this guy here. Then you'll have to move this guy here. I say it will become really complicated. I tried doing that. In fact, if you each man had shared that chart, 1 minute, I'll do one thing. Just give me 1 minute.
I think, sir, we have to make that as ascendant, then the chart will align automatically, I think.
yeah. For
What?
Lal, for
What?
Lal, for Lal Kitab, just erase the ascendant in Cancer and put it in Aries, so it will become a Lal Kitab chart automatically.
Yeah, that is correct. But you're saying this, now make this as the ascendant, right?
But yeah, okay.
Then Venus is in the ascendant.
That is your Lal Kitab chart.
That is the mistake. That is the mistake. That is what I was doing initially. It is said that it is that village astrologer theorem.
The whole
Your
ascendant is moved to Aries, or
Yeah.
or rather, if we move the Rashis, so now the Cancer becomes the Aries Rashi,
yeah, Cancer becomes
and
Aries.
Leo becomes Taurus.
Just give me 1 minute. I'll explain it to you in a better way. Just give me 1 minute. Just give me 1 second. If I do it in Photoshop, it will be easier for me. Okay, it's going to be a give me 1 second and I'll explain this. This thing has come in the middle, just don't bother with it. Okay, just bear with me. This is horrible, but anyway. So now what happens is your ascendant has moved here. So this you have got Mercury over here. So you've got Mercury over here. What do you have in your second house? Mars, Moon, Ketu. So Mars, Moon, Ketu comes in your second house. What do you have in the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh? Nothing. In the eighth house, you've got Rahu. Don't look at it 1, 2, 3, 4 in this thing.
Dada, where is your mouse?
Mouse. You can't see my writing in Photoshop. Oh, am I not sharing this screen? Oh, sorry. Just 1 minute. Sorry, my mistake. I was sharing the wrong screen. I was not sharing the correct screen. Now, can you see this slide? So just bear with me. थोड़ा सा इधर गंदा है, but now here, like I told you, this is permanently the first house. This is permanently the second house. I'm not putting all of them. This is permanently the sixth house. This is permanently the 10th house. If you just go by the thing later on, you'll understand. These are the permanent houses. Okay. Now, what do you have in your ascendant? Mercury, right? So your Mercury will Mercury will be moved here to the Aries. Mercury is here. Second house is a Mars, Moon, Ketu. So Mars, Moon, Ketu comes here. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth has got Rahu. So 6, 7, 8, Rahu is here. Saturn is in the 10th house. So sorry, 9th house. So this is Saturn. Venus is in the 10th house. So this is Venus. And 12th house has got Jupiter, Sun. Have you understood? So basically what they are saying is move your ascendant to Aries. Simple as that. Got it, all of you? Who, if somebody is not got, just unmute and say I have not understood.
Move your ascendant to Aries along with the planets.
Yes. So basically, in simple words, this becomes Aries. Move this to Aries. So if I'm moving, this is Aries, this entire chart actually gets rotated to this point. So I tried doing this in, I made an entire format in South Indian chart also. But then I realized that you realize in the later, the more advanced things, like if there's the planet in the 5th house, it hits the planet in the 3rd house. So it makes it very easy to see this. The planet in the 5th house is hitting here. Now here what will happen is every time you have to see, planet in the 5th house is this one, planet in the 3rd house is this one. So every time it will keep rotating, that becomes a little irritating. So I went back to the normal thing. So this is part 1. I'll just stop this here. This is part 1 where you understand how to make a Lal Kitab chart. Now the thing is, it is very simple. I'll just show you something. Let me share. Now this is the Jagannath Hora. Okay. Now let us say I have taken this fellow's chart. Okay. Now if you see his 7th house is the ascendant. Can all of you see this? Can you see Jagannath Hora? Correct. So now let me do the notations over here. Ascendant is 7th Rashi. So you will see 7 over here. Correct. But in Lal Kitab, we don't need to consider any of this. So just sort of don't bother about this. In the second house, is there anything over here? Nothing. So his second house is empty. He has retro Jupiter in the 3rd house, retro Jupiter in the 3rd house. Let's take an arbit one. 8th house. This is the 8th house for him in the South Indian chart. That has got Sun, Moon. If you remember, I told you this is 8. You have to memorize that now. So Sun and Saturn are here. If you see this is his 10th house. It has got Ketu, Moon. This is 10. It has got Ketu, Moon over here. It's very simple. So basically the thing is, if you have your Lal Kitab chart is ready here. You don't need to do anything. Just change your South Indian thing to a North Indian thing, and you'll get it and forget about this. But that's all. Swati, what happened?
So you are cutting down that numbers. Like if at all I see the ascendant, it is Libra. No,
So don't take it.
it's Libra.
Don't see. I'm
So
not.
we don't have to take the Libra as a ascendant.
No, that's what I'm telling you. Just forget
Okay.
about this. Just forget about this.
Okay.
I
Okay.
cannot remove it in the software, but that is what it is. So this is what you have to memorize now, main thing for the people who don't know how to read a South Indian, a North Indian chart. You have to know that this is 1. Suppose I say 11, your hand should go here. If I say 5, it should come here. You say 7, it should come here. You say 3, it should come here. You say 8, it should come here. You say 6, it should come here. You say 2, it should come here. 4 here. 10 here. 9 here. 12 here. This should be Phat. That is important. So
Okay.
basically the protocol is, it goes like a serpent. It goes this way. It's like a rotated cross. Like this. So that is all that you need to do. Baki, there is nothing to do in making the chart. All of you understood this? Now the difficult part or the interesting part, however you want to look at it, is how to read that chart. Okay. Till now everyone is clear on this? Okay, how many minutes we have got? 20. Okay, so we can still do that. So far, all good. Everyone has understood? Okay. Now, see this. Can you see this chart which I have shared now? Okay. Now, in this, basically there are three zones. Okay, I'll just make it a little smaller. I'm drawing it very rough just now for you to understand. This is one zone. Okay, this is one zone. This is another zone.
I'm not able to see your screen of the drawing.
You might have to swipe for the thing if you're on a smaller screen. Others can see the chart which I'm showing. So Shipra, you're on the wrong window. Let me know if you can see it. Can you see it now? Because I've shared it.
Yes, I can see it now.
Okay. So this is 1, this is 2, and this is the third module which I'm going to explain. Across this, you can understand everything. This is actually 3 come 4. It's the same thing. Once I explain that to you, you will understand. Okay. So this is going to end in 10 minutes. So let's see if I can explain in 10 minutes. Now the thing is how to read it. This first, I'm drawing a line across, here. So iske niche ka everything is what we are looking at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this off. Okay. Now you know my nomenclature of the what is it called? Color coding. All of you are aware of that. So if I'm talking about Jupiter, I'm seeing this patti. Can you see this patti? From 1 to 12. Jupiter in 1 to 12. This patti is Sun from 1 to 12 houses. This is Moon, Venus, Mars, Mercury, Saturn, Rahu, Ketu. Correct? So wherever it is. So for example, let us say your Jupiter is in, let us say 5th house. So you have to see this module over here and try to understand what is happening, what is correct or wrong. Okay. If your Jupiter is in 10th house, then you have to see this much portion and get the analysis of it. It's as simple as that. Now, how to read it? I'll just zoom in slightly. every house is divided into, is like, this is the module for the thing. Okay, so actually why this has happened is I had prepared the thing vertically, then I rotated it. So there is a little bit of a glitch. So the left hand side is the +1 and the right hand side is the -1. So imagine it was this way. You know, the minus I kept down and the plus I kept up. So when I rotated it in the anti-clockwise direction, वो left को गया. And then it was too much to redo the entire thing. So I just kept it at that. So as long as you can read it, it is okay. So if I just say that your, let's say your Jupiter is in 6th house. So how do you read this? Is you will say that Ketu is positive here. Mercury is negative here. Saturn is negative here. Okay. Now, wherever you see the number in the same color, that is something called as a Pakka Ghar. So that I'll explain later when we actually do Lal Kitab. But Pakka Ghar is like saying significant. If you know Jupiter is the significant is 2, 5, 9, 11, 12. If you know that, this thing. So in this also there have been slight significant alag alag. So we'll run through all the planets. So now if I have to go back to this, if your Jupiter is in the 5th house, then it is in its own Pakka Ghar. So it's like saying it's in a strong position. When you see this light gray, it shows that it acts malefic. It doesn't give good results. Okay. And somewhere you will see a dark gray. If you see this is light gray and if you see this is dark gray is double malefic. So in the planets, the nomenclature basically is if you see something like this, the way you read it is if Rahu is in the 1st house, Sun becomes double malefic, Mars becomes malefic, and Ketu becomes double malefic. So this is a thing which has spanned across 1800 pages, which has been put across this patti. So let's take any arbit one just now for the sake of discussion.
Is there any significance of the cells that have no color at all?
There is nothing happening over here. Like for example, if let us say somebody's Venus is in the 3rd house, nothing is positive, nothing is negative. So no repercussions to that. Okay. Now let's take a complicated one so that you understand what it is. This MB at the moment, don't get into MB Mangal Bad. That is another major topic in Lal Kitab, but as of now, forget it. Let's take this one just now for discussion's sake. So how you need to read the chart is important so that you can start applying it. So if a fellow's Mars is in the 3rd house, it will start acting malefic. C is under control. So if Mars is in the 3rd house, that person's moon is under control. Mercury is weak. Ketu is weak. And Mars is negative. Are you understanding that? And you're not understanding, tell me. I'll take up.
Sir, one question.
Huh.
Sir, I'm understanding this, but one basic question is, the planets in my regular houses will be the same in my Lal Kitab house also, right? Only thing is I'm just changing the number.
Yeah, the thing will be the same, but at a little advanced level, you'll understand. Their tattva will change, no? Like
The Rashi Tattva will change.
like my ascendant is 6th ascendant. So basically it is what? Earth element.
Yeah.
6th Rashi, Fearfe, Earth element. So
Yeah.
Earth element goes into the fire element now because my 1st house goes to this thing. So that
Aries,
has got some repercussions. They are not written in Lal Kitab, but this is something which came to my mind when I was experimenting on this. So Earth element ascendant going to the fire element का कुछ तो भी repercussion रहेगा. Now the thing is, there is one thing which I don't know how many people have discussed it. There is something called village astrologer theory. mean, there is no word for it. I have named it as village astrology. Village astrologer का क्या करते हैं? If you give them a kundali, they don't see your ascendant at all. They just see, if suppose you go and you say that I have got some problem in my career, they will see the 10th Rashi. They will not bother about where your ascendant is and all. And 10th Rashi mein, what are the repercussions happening? If there is some malefic hitting over there, or if there's something, or the 10th Rashi Lord is getting hit somewhere else or something like that, and then they will give it. That is village astrology theorem, which I use a lot. This is very similar to that. So just forget about the Rashis. Wherever your thing are in the chart, bus, Aries becomes your first lord. Correct? So have you understood this, what I've shown just now? I'll take up one more case. How much time do we have? 5 more minutes. Okay. So let's take this. If anyone of you want to try others, I'll take one this thing. So if your Ketu or a Rahu is in the first house, it is acting malefic. That's why you're seeing it gray. And what happens? Sun becomes double malefic. Mars becomes malefic. Ketu becomes double malefic. Let's take this one. Okay. I actually ran out of place later on. If your Saturn is in the 5th house, it acts malefic. In this case, Sun becomes double malefic. Venus becomes malefic. Mars becomes malefic. And Ketu becomes malefic. So, if suppose somebody has got Saturn in the 5th house, his Mars becomes bad. Now, Mars, where is his Mars seated? You need to see. So, if let us say Mars is seated in the 4th house, it gets debilitated over there. So, you need to remove Mars. The basic remedy over there is to remove Mars from there and put him in the house where it is Uchchaka. So, that Uchchaka is the 3rd house. Over here, I'll just show you this. If you see here, Mars, if you see this Mars ka thing, you will see that it is Uchcha over here. And in 10, it is exalted. E means exalted. So wherever the planet ka color is projecting into the table, that is its Pakka house. So if you see Jupiter 2, 5, 9, 11, 12 are their Pakka houses. Venus 7, Sun 1, Moon 4. Okay. So this is how you read that niche wala table. Have you understood everything so far?
Just wanted to confirm if
Huh.
Mars in the 3rd house
Huh.
is its own like Pakka house, but
Huh.
it's still malefic over there.
Yeah, that is because it
Is
is
it?
the Rashi Lord is Mercury.
Okay,
The
so
Rashi
it
Lord,
is like